A gendarme who exchanged himself for a hostage during the French supermarket siege has died, bringing the number of victims to 4. Police shot dead the attacker after a series of attacks claimed by Islamic State in Carcassonne, southern France, that culminated in the 3-hour hostage-taking. The attacker, named as Radouane Lake 25, was born in Morocco and lived in Carcassonne. He was known to police for petty crimes and drug dealing. The state prosecutor François Molins said he had been under surveillance in 2016 and 2017 for his radicalism and proximity to Salafist movements, but had shown no signs he was going to carry out an attack. Questions will be asked as to how Lake was able to obtain a weapon and carry out attacks when he had been monitored by security services. The Interior Minister, Gérard Collomb, said, "We had monitored him and did not think he had been radicalized." He added, he was already under surveillance when he suddenly decided to act. Just after 10 a.m. on Friday, Lake stopped a white Opel Corsa car on the outskirts of Carcassonne, before shooting and killing the passenger and seriously injuring the driver. The prosecutor said, Lake then drove off in the car and appeared to wait outside a military barracks for soldiers. He then drove to a riot police squad barracks, and shot at 4 officers 200 meters away, who had been out jogging. He seriously wounded one of group, who suffered broken ribs and a punctured lung. A bullet struck near one officer's heart. Lake then drove to a Super U supermarket 8 kilometers away in Trebes, a sleepy town of 5,000 people near Carcassonne. At about 11 a.m., he walked into the shop shouting Allahu Akbar and claiming he was a soldier from Islamic State. Around 50 people were inside the building. Lake opened fire, killing 1 supermarket worker and 1 customer. Christian Guibert, a former police officer, was shopping when he heard several shots. Gendarmes attempting to evacuate the supermarket found Lake holding several hostages. A gendarme volunteered to take the hostages' place. The gunman agreed to the swap, so the gendarme stayed with him while others were evacuated. That gendarme left his mobile phone line open on a table so security forces outside could hear what was going on inside. When security forces outside the store heard via the telephone that a shot was fired, they immediately stormed the supermarket and shot Lake dead. Lieutenant Colonel Arnaud Beltrame, the gendarme who had swapped places with the hostages, was found seriously injured. Early on Saturday morning, the French Interior Ministry said Beltrame had died from his injuries.
This morning, French authorities announced that a policeman who took the place of a hostage during a terror siege at a supermarket in southwest France has died. That raises the death toll in Friday's attack to 4. 15 others were injured. Roxana Saberi reports.
One of the first police officers who raided off Friday in the French town of Trebes was Lieutenant Colonel Arnaud Beltrame. French authorities say he offered to take the place of a woman that the gunman, Radouane Lake, had kept as a human shield. When shots rang out, police stormed the store and killed Lake. They found 2 hostages dead, and Beltrame, he died hours later. French President Emmanuel Macron is now praising the officer for his courage, saying in a statement, "In giving his life to end the deadly plan of a jihadi terrorist, he fell as a hero." French authorities say Lactime began his series of attacks in the nearby town of Carcassonne, killing a passenger, then wounding a police officer out on a jog. Witnesses who escaped from Lactime's attack on the supermarket say he claimed to be acting on behalf of the Islamic State. This witness described him as agitated with a handgun and a knife, yelling, "Allahu Akbar, God is great." A standoff, Lactime demanded the release of Salah Abdel Salam. He's one of the terrorists who took part in the Paris attacks in November 2015, which killed 130 people. He's now in jail, charged with terror and attempted murder. France's top prosecutor, François Molins, says Lactime, a 25-year-old Moroccan, was on a government list of people suspected of being radicalized. For CBS This Morning Saturday, Roxana Saberi, London.
Colomb praised the officer's heroism. 2 other officers were injured by gunshots during the assault. The situation at the supermarket lasted just over 3 hours, during which the gunman had asked for the release of Salah Abdeslam, the only surviving suspect from the group that carried out the November 2015 Paris attacks, French state TV reported. Abdeslam is in solitary confinement in a French prison as the investigation into the Paris attacks continues.
Nous sommes un vendredi 13. Oui, nous sommes le vendredi 13 novembre 2015.
Le 13 au matin, il faisait bon et j'étais très content.
Les Français jouent bien et le match est plaisant.
Je suis le dauphin de la place Dauphine et la place Blanche.
J'ai toujours, d'ailleurs, quand je vois un concert de rock,
Les camions sont pleins
c'est que je prends une vidéo et je l'envoie à mon père.
Paris.
Étrangement, je saisis mon téléphone et je vois que mon père m'a envoyé un message. Coucou David, attentat au Stade de France, fais attention.
Édition spéciale.
Fusillade dans le centre de Paris.
Plusieurs explosions ont été entendues.
C'est ce que nous redoutions, c'est-à-dire un commando réparti en plusieurs équipes.
Et je vois avec son arme. Enfin, c'est autre chose. Ils sont venus flinguer tout le monde. Point.
Je leur réponds, tu te tais, on va survivre, tu bouges pas.
C'est jamais l'assaut avec des otages, et encore moins dans un couloir. On prépare la colonne. Je leur dis, mais vous êtes sûr là? Évidemment qu'il faut y aller, on n'a pas le choix, quoi.
Là, vous vous imaginez la vie de ces gens qui basculent.
Je me suis longtemps refusée à m'apitoyer, parce que je me dis qu'il y en a qui sont restés, quoi.
Tu veux ne plus avoir ces images, ne plus avoir ces pensées, ne plus avoir ces souvenirs. Mais en même temps, il faut pas oublier ça. Jamais. De nourrir l'autre de soi. D'amour, compassion, de gentillesse, d'humanité. À la fin, c'est toujours l'amour qui gagne.
The Interior Ministry said Lactime was acting alone in Friday's attack. The state prosecutor said he had been on an intelligence watch list since 2014. Lactime had been convicted twice in 2011 and 2015 for petty crime, including drug offenses. He had served 1 month in prison in 2016. The prosecutor said that during surveillance, security services had not seen signs that suggested lake Deem would commit an attack.